Welcome to Collector Chatter. In today's episode, we're going to talk about Mischief Toys' Day of Mischief event, as well as Funko Fundays. Some of the Freddies have been leaked. Can't wait to talk about those, as well as the Rokimoto event where they unveiled and released their newest character. Can't wait to chat about all of that and more.
Collecting is the way. Now let's chat.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Collector Chatter. This is episode 132. I am Migs here with Charlie.
Yes.
Welcome.
We're back. We're back.
Took a little tiny break. We're back with some great stuff. I cannot wait to talk about what we're going to talk about. We have a lot of different collectible news. We have a few events that were going on. We got some events that are going to be going on that we're going to talk about a little bit of some stuff. So like I said, obviously in that intro, Mischief Toys did have a big event called Day of Mischief, which can't wait to talk about that. Funko Fundays as well.
The Experience.
The Experience. Essentially, the Fundays event. It hasn't happened yet, but we're getting leaks of the Freddies, which obviously we were kind of excited for that, to see what those are going to be. Rokimoto had an event where they finally released one of the newest characters out there. A couple other cool stuff was going on. We have a new NFT drop, and we might even get some more VeeFriends talk, because VeeFriends officially has been now out for a few weeks with Chrome, and yeah, it's not the easiest thing to get, so we're going to talk about that as well. But where do you want to start off?
Let's start off with the Day of Mischief. Like, why not? Something different. Most people probably are very full aware of the Gassel Cash and Mischief Toys. You know, we've talked about them all the time. They've slowed down a little bit, so we haven't had much to cover. But this one we want to talk about because this was their big event. Now, they've done Night of Mischiefs after New York Comic-Con. This event was in Maryland, and they basically went all out. They had exclusives that you could only buy there, and then they also had exclusives that you only got that were part of your ticket. So, you know, kind of Chris and Heather definitely inspired by Fundays. This is their version. But these pieces were super limited. Like I said, we're getting new characters. There's tons of pins. They word on the streets they were given away to someone won like a lifetime Coven membership, which, you know, normally if you're not aware of that, that's their, you know, exclusive membership that you have to re-up every year. So getting a lifetime one is pretty cool. And we got a big new character called Malachor. And from what I've gathered, so no, unfortunately we didn't get to go to the event, but you know, that community is extremely vocal and shares all over socials. My cousin actually went too, so he told me a lot of this. But so he's like, now that's the master of the narrator. So it's a cool new character that they threw in, which the figure looks unlike anything they've done. It's pretty new, unique and new. Which I know you've seen some of these pictures. Like, what did you think?
Yeah, it's definitely very different than what they usually do. Of course, they started off with Ghastly, Strictly, and they were doing that for a while. Then we got the Monstro, which was like a bigger version, a little longer, a little bit of a change, more detail and stuff. And then, of course, Mortem, which is still pretty new, was another completely different mold and huge. What's that, Scythe or whatever that thing that he has? Huge one of that.
Which he was the exclusive that you could buy there.
Yeah, glow in the dark one, right?
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool, like a green. That was pretty awesome. But then this new character is, again, completely different. It seems like it's in a similar box to like the Monstro.
Yeah, that's
so it's like a longer, like, but he's kind of like thin and like very demonic and like the big horns and everything, which obviously is like their thing. But it seems like it's cool because they all have also specific characters and like a story behind everybody. And that's what we've actually always loved about them, is that they have so much into it. It's not just like a random thing that they're just making. But yeah, I know your cousin was there, which is interesting that he went. I didn't realize he was going to go to this because, of course, it was in Maryland. and I want to say, as of New York Comic Con, has kind of started getting into it, right?
He
Because he
got pretty
wasn't really
hardcore in
one of
there.
these.
Now
Yeah,
he was like, it's funny. He used to try to get the figures to help me when they were like impossible to
yeah,
get,
yeah, yeah.
and then he was kind of like, oh, you know, like I'm kind of liking these, and you know, it fits his personality. Like Mischief
Hmm.
Toys
Oh yeah, yeah.
is made for him in a weird way. But yeah, if I'm being honest, I probably would have went. It just this weekend just did not work for me. I was kind of bummed actually. And, you know, he really tried to the last minute to convince me to go, but it just wasn't going to work.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, he said it was a great time, and he's hard to please at times. So he had a really good time. Said it was completely run. Like he had no complaints,
Yeah.
which I mean, that's a pretty good. It's a pretty good rating if
Yeah,
coming
of
from him.
course. Yeah, no, for
Um,
sure. Shout out to
and
Chris and Heather for that and the whole
yeah,
team.
and one thing he told me too, like they did tease a few new molds coming.
Hmm.
And you know, one that they announced, which I cannot believe, I'm like super pumped for, even though this may be random to some people, is they made a partnership with Jay and Silent Bob. Now, I love Jay and Silent Bob. I mean, I'm from New Jersey, around where Kevin Smith is from, and like this is their first real, like I know they've had some licenses with they just had one with a band.
Hmm.
And they've made some partnerships with other companies, but nothing like this. I'm super excited to see where that goes. And they also tease that they're going to make like a Bucky's inspired one, which is super weird. I'm wearing a Bucky shirt right now. That's being said, which I mean, I think Chris and Heather became huge Bucky's fans on their trips to Disney World.
Yeah.
And I think they're making one of their cat, which is funny. It looks like completely different. They're just teasing much, and they're actually going to be going to the Living Dead con
Hmm.
soon, and I think they showed off 3 different versions of zombies that are coming out.
Yeah.
Which, as of when you are listening to this podcast, I think they will have released those on their probably socials, because I think they're actually having a live talking about them right now as we are recording our episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, a bunch of cool stuff coming from them.
Yeah, it's just cool to see. Like, I know for a little while, like a kind of a combination of things happened. Like, we kind of stepped back a little bit from getting more of the high end designer because they're obviously a
Yeah.
little more expensive figures, but they did slow down themselves, like you said as well. I know they had a lot of issues with the shipping and tariff stuff. I know did affect them for a little bit. But it's good that they were able to get a lot of these things out there because they were very hyped for this event. They've been talking about this for a long time, of
Yes.
course, to being the day of Mischief. It was local to them. And, it wasn't just one of those smaller ones that they do for the New York Comic Con. But yeah, from what I've seen and a couple people, and even Funko James, who,
Yeah.
a big one in the community, he was there. So like he put up a couple things, he put up some cool videos. And like one thing I noticed, there was a ton of pins. Like he
They
got
love
a
pins.
ton. Yeah, they've always loved pins, but there was so many different kinds, whether it was a new character, whether it was Coven ones, whether it was just normal or narrator.
Stickers. They love
Yes,
their
and all that
stickers
kind of
too.
stuff, which they love doing that, and it's cool that they're still doing that as well. And then obviously the new Coven members got a new coin, so great
They also have
stuff.
prints. They had
Oh yeah, there were
which actually
some
I'm
prints
not
as
normally a
well.
print guy, but I really wanted that narrator one. It was super cool. Him having a drink that was
Yeah.
given to everyone there, and then a print of their new character as well, which was a partnership with Vertebrae, I believe is the name. Which
Okay,
is
yeah. Who does they've done like
they did a
artwork and
partnership
stuff
at
and
New York
shirts and
Comic
stuff.
Con with them with Mortem.
Hmm.
Yeah, they're killing it. I really enjoy them. I mean, we've always given our praises on this podcast. Obviously, we collect, and like I said, at one point they were going really hard, and it was kind of too much, in my opinion. And I think the community spoke, like they weren't. These things used to sell out like 2 years ago now, like in seconds.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Now you could never get one. Like it actually was like the FOMO for it was like insane. It was kind of, I mean, obviously not as crazy as like Labubu's, but for our community, it was like, oh my God, if you want to miss your toy, you have to go on it right now. Log on,
yeah, you
get it.
had
If
to
you
be there
didn't, you were
instantly, yeah.
done. It's not that way anymore. And I don't think it has anything to do with the quality of their product. It's just they made so many so quickly. They're around New York Comic Con, and then afterwards they had like their Halloween week. I mean, the amount of product
Yeah,
that they were
they
pushing
definitely
out.
put a lot out.
but it seems like now they may have found a new good cadence, which I'm excited for.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And like you said, those zombie, we saw like a picture of the zombie ones that they talked about, because obviously your cousin was there. So like they look really cool. But yeah, it's exciting to see that they're coming out with some fresh stuff. The licensing thing will be interesting to kind of see. I think like the Jane Silent Bob thing is very random in a way, but it is a niche, like specific fandom, but it is a hardcore fandom. So usually like those type of, and I can see how like, you know, their fans might be Jane Silent Bob fans. So like I could see kind of the crossover, but it'll be interesting to see like what exactly like that's going to be, because obviously like the band one they just came out with, it was like a paint job essentially over the ghastly, but it was like a really cool done one, and it was like unique and different. So like, is it going to be something like that, or will it look
Speaking
like
of that
one of
figure,
them?
which was cool, they also did about that. There was 4 different versions. There was the common, then there was one that had blue paint splattered on it that you can only get from the band's website. But then they had one with red paint splattered and green splattered, and they all were, you know, you ordered the one and you got what you got. Like I thought it was super cool, and they got more limited as they went down. I would like to see them do more of that. I thought that was really cool. And then the one thing too, it's going to be super cool if the Jane Silent Bob one ends up at the secret stash at the Kevin Smith store, which would be super cool, especially for Mischief Toys.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it would be a perfect place to do that, and it makes sense if they that was part of their like agreement or whatever. But yeah, exciting, and we haven't talked about them in a little bit, so it's nice to kind of get back into some of their stuff. Obviously, this was a big day for them, so congrats again, you know, to the two of them and the rest of the team, because now they have a really good team behind them, and a lot of people that really are helping them pump this stuff out. So it's a great job by them. But yeah, if you guys got to go, you know, awesome. Let us know down below if you guys did, or what you grabbed, or what you're excited for anything that's coming soon from Mischief Toys, of course. We'll shift over. Let's go to Rokimoto before we go to Funko news. So another event. We're talking about another event here. This one, however, was of course the Rokimoto event, which was held at 3D Retro in Las Vegas, Nevada. So they talked this one up for a little while. They were talking about how they were going to be there. And the big thing was obviously they were going to be there, and, you know, Mike will be there and pop up and whatever.
Doubling down on fun.
Yeah. True. But the big push too was obviously a new character was being released. We talked about this in the past, kind of like what was coming next and the next wave, etc. And there was 2 characters that we kept seeing a lot of, but they weren't out yet. And they were even in the original like paint artwork and stickers, marketing and everything.
By my office.
Yeah, which was the raccoon.
Yeah.
Who's Mapache. So that's the first one to come out. There's going to be a lion, obviously, but this one was for the Mapache. And what was cool about it was because they have like cartoons and animation forms of these characters, they do have voices and people that voice them, even their other characters, some of the old, the original ones. And this one, of course, funny enough, is being voiced by the one and only Fluffy, Gabriel Iglesias, of course, the comedian, who I guess if you're in the collecting world, you would connect to Funko, because he was massive with Funko. Now it kind of makes you seem like it was probably a connection with Mike.
Exactly.
Yeah. But he would be at events all the time. They had tons of exclusives of his, and so many different versions of him.
Many exclusives.
Yeah, he was like a Darth Vader / Deadpool at that point, because there was just so many. But Mike obviously has a really good relationship with him, and he, you know, is I don't know if he really collects stuff himself, but
I feel like
it seems like he loves that, like, that community. Yeah, of course, it seems like he would, right? And obviously he's a comedian, and he's funny, and he's, you know, bubbly and everything, and great with the mic. So like using him as a voice is cool, because he does have a unique voice, and he's basically being this Mapache character. So he was there, he was signing autographs and stuff, as well as Mike. Like Mike has been doing at all his events, which is why we like Mike. We love Mike, honestly. But the whole team was there, and I don't know, what are your thoughts of kind of, well, the character? First of all, I love the character. I think this is one of the cooler ones.
Completely agree.
I was a little let down when it wasn't the original 5 that came out. It wasn't that one. But yeah, what do you think about the event and everything?
I mean, I think it's awesome. Mike, I don't even remember exactly what he had said this a few weeks ago, but this event kind of came out of nowhere, and he was just kind of like, "We're going to keep doing events. Like, why wait until the big ones at like other cons?"
Yeah.
And I mean, once again, it's just like awesome, and as corny as it sounds, like the guy's just trying to make fun and like have people come meet this new brand. I think it's a perfect way. I agree with you. I think this is one of the coolest characters. I like that Fluffy is the voice of it, that they did get some people to voice these characters, and it just seems like a perfect pairing. The other thing that I thought was awesome about this, and I'm trying to figure out if this is a tease or was just something special for this event and this event only, they had trading cards that came in like,
I didn't mean to talk about that.
which is super cool. And, you know, some of the accounts, like, you know, the Funko Finders of the world have picked it up and kind of was like, are we getting these down the line? Was this a tease? Like, I'm excited if that becomes a thing. Obviously, everyone at this point knows it's kind of become me and yours biggest collection now at this point is trading cards. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I love them. I mean, I thought they look cool. I'm pretty sure because all the ones we've seen were like this, but they come in like one of those acrylic cases.
Yep.
They're like really cool artwork on it. This one was obviously specific to the Mapache, so that was on there, and it said Rokimoto and the Asian writing and everything. But there was like variations. So there was like a gold foil one that you can get, which was
sick.
numbered. So this was obviously like a numbered rarity to it, which that also added to the cool excitingness of that. I'm assuming it was just kind of randomly given. But I will say I don't know. Like, I would be awesome if these just came out and they always had these cards. But at the same time, I kind of like if they don't do that and they're only for like events and like kind of special things, but that they continue to make these though, for sure. Because I think that's a really cool
I'm on the same page
like
with you with
idea.
that.
Yeah. I mean, if they become kind of more mass, made and you
It
just get them
wouldn't
all the
work.
time, it might not be as special. And yeah, just be another card. But for like an event, it's cool. If a new, like this specifically, a new character comes out, then that's obviously who's, featured on the card. Awesome. I think that's a really cool thing to do. But I agree. They looked great. And having a numbered version of it, I mean, we love that kind of stuff. So like that adds to it. But something that you said earlier, I did want to touch on is like the whole event thing. Like Mike really, like we've talked about this. And we're like, oh, Mike was the reason why Funko is doing all these things. And like the more and more Rokimoto continues to like grow and like be, existing right now, the more and more you see that like Mike really loves doing that. And it's kind of funny, dude. You remember, not to go off completely down a
That's the
road
best
here,
thing. So,
but yeah, honestly, do you remember when we were back and we were talking about like what was Rokimoto going to be, aka not Rokimoto, what was Funmaker Inc. going to be? And one of the big things we said was like it's going to be an event company. Like we were like not sold that it was going to be figures and it was going to be him helping people out because AJ was part of it and all these weird things that were connected to it. And clearly it ended up being like an actual company, a toy company, but a lot of it does have to do with
mixture
the
both.
events and fun and making sure like he can get to people and stuff. And I
mean,
also
he makes
love
a poster for all these events too.
yes, the marketing that they do on this. I mean, we've already praised them left and right with their social media and the way they marketed themselves, but he's doing like all this great artwork with posters, like you said, t-shirts, like all these different things, but he's doing it so it makes sense and it's going along with like a product or an event. It's not just like just to do it and just kind of throwing it out there. Like it all has purpose and reason. But I also like that he's like doing these events, like you said, the smaller events, and they're kind of like spreading them around. Obviously, they were in WonderCon in California. Then he was in New York City to do like a big drop, and then he's in Vegas. So like he's kind of going all over the place doing these things. And I like that it's not only the major conventions, which obviously they're going to have their
I
hand
completely agree.
But yeah, I think the smaller thing is the way to go. And yeah, it sucks sometimes when you can't get there and you see how they're like they obviously we would love to go to all of them, but we can't. But it's still cool to see, and at least it's like a fun way to, whether it's like announce something or release something, they're doing it that way. And I actually like that a lot.
Agreed. And they make it exciting. And even once again, not to keep praising their social media, but like I'm always actually like looking to see what they post next because it's just always engaging and you really don't know what they're going to announce next. Even if it is like they're always doing a contest or like you said, like
giveaways.
These are like it's just top notch. It's just kind of funny where when we first were like introduced to Rokimoto, we were so we were so unsure. And now, I mean, I know we've said this basically every episode since we've come to this conclusion, but Mike is going to win with this company, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. Of this race that's going on, he's definitely the one that's miles ahead right now. And yeah, it's awesome. I'm looking back at the card again.
Pull over! No, it's a cardigan, but thanks for noticing.
And like, it shows like it's only available at that one day event. So like, it might just be one of those type of things. I kind of hope they do that. And it shows that it's obviously limited to the ticket holders, which again, that's another thing. They are limiting the amount of people that get to go to these things. So it is being a little bit more exclusive. But it adds a little bit to that. Another thing on I think at the event they gave them away because they were talking about it beforehand, but they had some protos of some stuff that they were giving out, and it looked like some new characters. Because I know filmmaker Gabby did a video. One of them was like the little lion, and then another one was it looks like a Leo, but he's like I don't know. It looks like maybe he's like a pilot or something because he has like goggles on his head. Like one of those like old school like
that's like the speed racer looking one.
Yeah, or something like a race car driver or something like that. So like it seems like there's going to be obviously like a Leo version maybe like that because there's a proto that they have, and then the lion and stuff, and of course we have other characters that potentially be coming out as well. There's like a hamster gerbil or something it's in a lot of their like animated
that
stuff.
has to be coming.
So yeah, like these characters, you got another coming, and they do, like you said, they do a lot of giveaways for protos and stuff on their social media. So yeah,
it's just so aesthetically really pleasing too. Like I just like their style is just so cool.
Yeah, it's super cool. It's chill. It's laid back. It doesn't seem super corporate at all. It's like very like fun. Obviously, that's the biggest thing they talk about is fun. But like, and I mean, we talk about this all the time. But like the fact that Mike is so hands on, not even just doing the events and being just on funny videos, but like how many shorts have we put up and he's pretty much commented almost on every single one if it has to do like with Rokimoto. And like you don't see that a lot, and I wouldn't expect that from. If he didn't do it, it'd be like whatever. So like Rokimoto, that's cool. But like it's just awesome to know that like he's still engaged in the social media, the post, like what people are saying out there, and like we've heard he even listens to us, and if he does, hopefully that was the truth. That's awesome. Hey Mike, if you're listening now. But like it's just cool to kind of hear that kind of thing because it's just real. You don't get a lot of 100% out of that. Not to
you couldn't
fluffy because
no, you couldn't have said it better. I mean, I've always loved Mike, but yeah, I mean, it just shows the type of person he is. And can leave it at that. It doesn't even need to be a competition. He's just awesome. He practices what he preaches. And he's rewarding his fans who, love his product or just the vibe he's trying to bring. Mike is such a vibe that I really enjoy.
Yeah, it's been fun. There was a T-shirt too. I don't know if you saw it.
I did. Yeah, T-shirt, that's not like there's always. I'm also as someone who's
on it was specials.
As someone who's a sucker for stuff, which is it always becomes a problem.
Aren't we all?
Yeah, aren't we all? Obviously, like he makes the events too like special, and there's something commemorative about it, and like he also. Once again, they're not at the level of Funko yet, but the few events they've had too, it's like everyone has a chance to get them too. I've noticed like you're not going to leave empty-handed, which I also do appreciate because you're also leaving the consumer on a high note rather than like, oh, I missed that collectible.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I agree. It's been good. But yeah, let us know. I mean, if you were in the Vegas area and you were able to go, to the event, like if you have any firsthand experience with it, let us know. Comment down below what you guys think. about that for sure, and just kind of what's to come when it comes to Rokimoto and some more things. Obviously, the next big event will be like San Diego Comic-Con, and of course our Dreams event. That's going to be a whole nother thing. I'm sure we're really going to want to talk about and dig into
I'm
once that
excited to see what
happens.
happens.
But yeah, let us know for sure. This is actually a good time if you haven't already. Make sure you like down on this video if you're watching here on YouTube, please. Obviously, if you're commenting as well, and if you haven't already, hopefully we earned your subscription. Subscribe to the channel so you can know when more of this stuff comes out for sure. But we're gonna switch it up to let's go to Funko. We'll talk about some Funko news because we do have some Funko in the news.
We haven't really talked about Funko.
We haven't talked about it a lot, and usually when we do, it's been kind of in a negative context and a couple of random things here and there.
So we kind of stopped doing it.
But yeah, we don't want to just be bashing, right? But now we have a couple things. One thing is an interesting thing. I mean, we'll get your take on what you think of what's been leaked so far. But leaks Funko and leaks Fundays and leaks Freddy's and leaks is just a thing. They just go together.
Just not leak these things
together like ham and tuna fish or whatever. What's the guy say? Lamb? What's he saying?
Lamb,
Big Daddy, lamb and tuna fish. Yeah,
they make terrific pair. They went together like lamb and tuna fish.
So of course they have their new event. So it is, we talked about it last week as well. It's going to be held at Hollywood. So Funko Hollywood. It's not going to be during San Diego Comic-Con. They will not be having like one of those big events, which we thought was, an interesting thing. They're doing it before. So it's kind of like a Fundays, essentially, is what they're calling it, but it's an experience.
Yeah.
It's going to be there. It's going to be limited, but it is going to be multiple days. It's going to be like the whole weekend. And their whole big thing is you're going to get a bunch of stuff, maybe some photos they're giving out, a bunch of boxes so you can try to get the grail. They're going to have a room where you can just sit and trade with other people, like whatever. We went over this before, but the big news that we're going to talk about now is now we're starting to get some leaks in regards to like what's potentially going to be in these boxes. And what's interesting is that like for the most part, I think there's one that's at the event, but for the most part, all this stuff is like the online version, which I will say when this was announced, I didn't know that they would do that like an online home version, which obviously they've been doing this for years now. But being that it wasn't an actual official STCC type event, being that it was like this smaller one that was a whole weekend and all these changes, I thought it was only going to be at the event that you can get these things. And I'm not going to lie, now that it is a home thing, it kind of even waters it down some more because I don't know. But either way, we weren't going to be able to go to San Diego. So like if we wanted to get something, like cool, we got a chance of doing it online. But it's just like strange. It seems like they just kind of did this last minute and they were like, we wanted to do what we normally do, but we weren't able to. So let's change the name. Let's not do it at San Diego. We'll do this, but it's going to be basically what we normally do. Yeah. That's kind of like the gist that I got. I don't know if you have any like take on the fact that now we have some online stuff leaking and then we'll go into the leaks.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with everything you said. The one thing that don't want to be negative, but I'm going to be is Funko. And once we talk about these leaks, Funko did not learn their lesson. One thing that people did not like was basically the stuff being almost exactly the same, but it was just a little bit of a limit. That one debacle that one year was just the sticker. This is a little better, but like having almost the same mold, but maybe be a different shade of a color, and it's a little bit less limited. That's for the show and online. Like, I really think they should like stop doing that completely. And even kind of how you said, like, we don't typically go to San Diego Comic-Con, so we always have gotten the online versions. And I'm completely, there's a way you can grasp based off of what sells, what people are talking about, what Freddy's, and I'm hoping Franny's or Protos, but no leaks of those, which like, what are you doing? But the characters that are the best ones that you think are going to be the most popular, I'm cool with being event only. There's still tons of characters that could be cool. The lesser ones that they think won't be as popular should be the online versions, and you still make everyone happy. I once again don't think it's going to be special enough, kind of like you said, watered down, and like it's not really given that much of an incentive to go to the con, or not the con, the experience, because even too, like, I don't know. I think you agree with me on this, but like this one pop, and I'll say this one leak so far. It's the sketch version of Pinocchio. They had come out with these last year, a few Disney characters. They look like they're legitimately hand drawn with pencil. One is like the sepia color, and the other is just black and white. Like, that just irks me. There should be one of them and call it a day. Like, I don't think one of them makes it better and more collectible, even though you're saying it's more of a limited number. Like, that doesn't get me excited.
Yeah. No, I agree. They're literally doing what they've done before. Like, they didn't change at all, actually, because this is proving, because the first thing that leaked was the black and white one.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, this is going to be an option to Pinocchio. So I was like, okay, cool. You know, it's interesting. It's cool. It's Freddy, but you can tell it's like the Pinocchio. It has that drawing thing to it. So like, it was different. And it said online. So I was like, okay, so they're going to have a home one. Awesome. Then we start seeing a couple other ones that we'll talk about that are online. But then we see that there's a show version. And like you said, the sepia one is what it is. And of course, it has a lower piece count. And that's when it's going to be at the show. So once that came out, that 100% now is just confirming they're literally doing the same thing.
Yeah.
They're going to do, because we don't hate the fact that they do an online version and they do a show version. Of course, the show version is always going to be more limited. All that makes sense. The problem is that I don't know if it's just laziness or if they just think it's cool and it's like, you know, like you're going to feel special because you have a little bit of a different version. But what they're doing is they're coming out with one mold and they're just changing it, whether it's like a little bit of a color or maybe it's metallic or maybe it glows. And that one is becoming the more rare one, quote unquote, and it's going to be less pieces and at the show. And then the other version is the one that everyone can just kind of get online, which is still limited to certain pieces, but it's obviously a higher number. And that's like what they are doing. Like instead of doing show, because they used to do this, being stuff that you cannot get at home at all, and then home stuff be stuff you cannot get at the show. They just have different amounts. Obviously, those have a higher number. But either way, it's like one or the other. They're not doing that. They're going back to the like thing where it's like you're gonna get just a small variant of it, and it's lazy and just I don't know. I don't know if anybody really likes this. And it makes you think like the other two. So there's two other ones that were leaked as well.
The other two are kind of cool.
Yeah, so Freddy Funko's Iron Man. They're obviously both marble, and then Star-Lord. Star-Lord's 1,500 pieces. These are both online. The 1,500 pieces as well for the Iron Man. 2,000 is for the Pinocchio, and then the at show version is 550. Yeah, 550. So, you know, low number. Of course, that's makes sense in the hundreds or lower, whatever at the show. Okay, that makes sense. But now it makes you think like, does that mean that there's going to be, I'm pretty sure there will, a metallic Iron Man that's 550 pieces?
Yeah.
And a glow in the dark Star-Lord that's 600 pieces, and that's at the show? Like, because that's probably what they're going to do. And it's just, I don't know if anyone, if you guys are listening to this and you are against us, like, let us know. Like, do you think that's amazing that they do that? But I just think that's ridiculous.
I mean, yeah, please let us know in the comments because I agree. Ridiculous because once again, too, me and Megs, we collect for fun. We're not flippers. We're not trying to make a quick buck. So ultimately, at the end of the day, if we do want these boxes, I'm totally A-okay getting the online version only. I won't have any FOMO at all. Like, there was times I like vividly remember, this was like now 3 years ago maybe, when these leaks were coming out, we were like, holy shit. And this was in like peak Funko. Like, these are fucking amazing.
Yeah, I wish I was at the show because that one, yeah.
Like, you can get Ted Lasso only there, and like Ted Lasso is my favorite character. Oh my god, or like this. Now they've completely ruined that. They've just completely ruined that. It's upsetting because I do think the Star-Lord and Iron Man are pretty cool, especially the Star-Lord one.
We don't have an Iron Man one already?
You know, we may, and it's old.
I want to say that there was one. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm gonna look that up.
I mean, this one's a pretty standard Iron Man,
yeah.
you know, the old stance where he's like his arms out. It's not even like it's like a cool kind of special one. He doesn't have his hand out like he's, you know,
You're right.
projecting anything.
Yeah, there's like an old one from like when Fundays was, you know.
But it's like the original stance as well, right? It's just kind of like arms out.
Yep.
Yeah, like they could at least change it a little. I don't know. But
I mean, like I'm looking right now. This one on like Pop Price Guide, it's worth almost $40,000.
oh, well, that price gonna go down now because they're re-releasing it, essentially.
Which shouldn't do.
Yeah,
that's another thing.
Like I said, it could be Iron Man, but they should have at least changed it a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah.
But a few things I do want to talk about is the boxes. So
thank you.
This is like a new thing that obviously has been kind of shown and talked about in the past, and it's happening pretty much with all their new boxes now. So there's a few things that they're changing up on. One of them being, it's not on these specifically, but just because we're talking about the boxes, I'll mention it. Whenever there is like going to be a variant, like whether it's like a glow or metallic or glitter or whatever it is, it's now going to say that like on the box. Like it's not going to be a sticker anymore. There is, from what I'm seeing, and again, I'm showing like which we'll talk about the new NFTs, but like that's an example. And there was a couple other pops in the past that those are now the way they look. The second thing is now when it comes to piece counts, that's also going to be on the box. We've also seen this in their new like rewards program, the Mumra, that strawberry shortcake, those that have piece counts, they're right above the name now, and like the box basically protrudes up a little bit, so no longer straight across. It's doing the same thing for these. So like the piece count now is like 1,500 pieces, and it shows it like on that side. I don't hate that. It's a new thing. It does kind of make it like more like the box now is a little bit more important rather than just like a sticker. You can do like a sticker swap or whatever. And like that's kind of, although you can just obviously do a box swap, but either way, my point is that like, you know, it's on the box, it's on there regardless with the characters.
They're doing a bunch of stuff that we kind of wish they did when Funko was like
it is. And then the other thing is obviously there's a sticker of the actual event. So of course we're getting the Fundays one, you got online, and then you got the Fundays show one, which is, you know, different color. The sticker's pretty big. And then they have that new QR code now. So like there's a lot of sticker space that's coming on.
That should not be on the front of the box.
On these, yeah, I don't know why that sticker should be on the box, not on the window. Honestly, I have no idea why they put it on the window. It's on all of the ones, actually. Because now I'm looking at even the strawberry shortcake one, like it's on there.
Yeah, it's ugly.
The Mumra one, it's also on there. Like, I just feel like that should 100% be something that's on like the box. Like, look what Labubu does. It's right on the box, like in the back. Like, I don't know, they could have easily done that. But from now going forward, that's part of like all their stickers now, because even the exclusive new Funko sticker, it's one big sticker now that has that QR code on it. So I don't know, that's kind of another thing that I guess is just a little weird because taking up the whole damn window.
Another thing I want to bring about the box too, and now in early Fundays it was like this, but as of late it's been, the boxes have been kind of themed to what the event theme is. These boxes basically look like they're the Pop Yourself boxes.
Yeah,
like they're super plain. They're just white and blue. It almost looks like they could have just slapped that crappy sticker they do on Freddy Funko as Iron Man. Like, it does not get me excited. Like, if you're going to put, and I always joke about this, Funko tells you the boxes don't matter, they don't care about the condition, but now they're going to put in this effort with these stickers, they have the QR code, yada, yada, yada. But if you're going to do that, at least make it look cool, in my opinion. There's nothing, I mean, the stickers for the event don't even match the brown color scheme that they put with like the whole Grail thing. It just, I don't like the way they look, is basically what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I agree. There's nothing special about it. That new, though, what I do, like I said, the new design, putting the piece count on the boxes and stuff is fine, but I agree with like, yeah, they could have changed up the color a little bit, could have got better stickers for the actual Fundays portion. and they could have made it a little bit more of a theme. But again, it kind of goes back to where I think like this event just kind of got thrown together.
Yeah.
And then they just were like, all right, we're going to release some of these pops, at this event, quote unquote, and then we're going to do them online as well. But I don't know. It's interesting. It's something. We're getting some leaks.
Do you think you'll get a box?
I don't know. I haven't purchased a Funko product in like a year. It's not even an exaggeration. So I don't know. And that's not just because I don't like the stuff. It's like I really no longer have like displays. I don't have stuff up anymore. A lot of my stuff is in storage. So it's like, do I want to buy something just to put in storage? So like I'm kind of just chose not to. So I guess, we'll see when it comes out if there's more. Like nothing that I've seen right now of these three, let's say, for the online
makes you
is making me be like, I have to get the box. Like, yeah, they're cool. I completely agree. The Iron Man one's definitely really cool. But not like in the past where we were like, oh my God, I can't wait to get a box. Maybe I'll try to get 2 boxes. Or I want to go to the event. Like all that was what we were talking about. Like there's nothing like that yet. But again, maybe we'll get some more leaks and we'll see. But yeah, we'll see. We will see. But in other Funko news, another drop is coming out through the drop website, of course, with the Funko NFTs. And this one was just recently announced. This is going to be our Funime, which we got last year. This is the second one, right? Because last year was the first one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Series 2.
So Series 2 of Funime and Cosplay NFT pops. This one is dropping June 3rd, day after my birthday. So it's in a couple weeks. 12,000 standard, 15,000 premium packs. So kind of what they've been rolling with for the most part now with these bigger drops. Last year's was really cool. I really liked it. We both, I think, try to get some stuff. I really like the ramen ones. Obviously, I ended up getting those.
Goes great with the Slurp prize.
Yeah. Just like those new keychains that they're coming out with.
Which Mike, let's just talk about that really quick. Amazing. But go check out that short on our channel if you haven't
check out
already.
Our short about the
and read the comments.
The connection of the new, I don't know what are they called, like
the kawaii or however you say that.
Kawaii, yeah, it's like some kind of show, whatever. But they're coming out with like keychains and whatever. But yeah, too similar to Rokimoto. But this time we're getting big full set again for legendaries, a royalty, and a grail. We're not getting the mythic, which mythic was part of last year's.
Yep.
Because I think it was our first mythic, right?
Yeah, it was. We're probably not getting one because they came so messed up. I legitimately just got mine like a week ago.
You just got it?
Yep.
I thought you had.
It came. Remember, it came totally smashed.
But they're saying like they got you another one. You mean?
I just got it a week ago.
Okay. I thought I was gonna say.
Sorry,
it already, but
like the reason I'm assuming they're not doing that again is just not worth the complaints from people.
Yeah, I mean it's a 10-inch pop. Those pops never, for the most part, will be in a good condition. So yeah, that was. I mean, it was an interesting thing when they did it. It was the first time they had it.
Was cool.
10-inch or whatever, but yeah, we're not gonna get those anymore. So, or at least we'll see. Not in this set. So this set we are getting 3 legendaries. We got. So I'll run through them and then we can talk about which ones we like or not. We got Spirit Candle Franny. So there is a lot of Frannies in this. So Spirit Candle Franny, that one's gonna glow in the dark. Legendary. 1,800 pieces. Then we got a Ronin Freddy, which is also gonna glow in the dark. We got a Idol Franny. Then we got a Yokai Crown Freddy, which that one's going to glow as well. Then the Grail is a Necomech Franny. And then the royalty is going to be Ultimate Freddy, and he's sitting in a proto, like a mecha proto. And he's basically like, maneuvering that. And it's the Freddy inside of that. So pretty unique, different. They obviously went, very, 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 very anime style, but like kind of more enhanced and like a little bit different than the first set. But what are your thoughts on the set?
I like the set. I feel like the NFTs have become a roller coaster again of good, not good. I like these. I think they're cool. I also like that there's kind of some companion type pieces from the series 1. Like the first series, like we got a Franny that kind of looked like the Ronin Freddy this time. The Grail definitely is a companion piece with the Mythic from series 1 in like the mech suit. It's just funny that it's smaller, even though I think I did read somewhere this is going to be more of the Pop Plus box size.
All of them? Or
no, just the Franny mech one.
Interesting.
But to me, the star of this is the royalty. I think the Ultimate Freddy with Proto Mech is sick. That's completely different. I like when they, play around with sizing and make, pops look a little bit different. And this is what the NFTs we've always said should be like. I'm going to go after this set. I'm not crazy, but I will get a few packs.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely cool. I think my favorite is probably the Ronin one.
I would say that's
that's
favorite.
That's a cool character in general, any type of Ronin type style thing. I like that he has like the mask to the side, which is similar to like what they did in the last one with Franny, I think was the one that had the mask to the side. And I actually have that one. That was a really cool one. I think one thing that they did really well is the variation. So like we're only getting 3 glows out of the 6, but all of them make sense to be a glow. You're not just getting a glow to be a glow. So you got Ronin obviously has like fire on his like sword and everything. So I'm assuming that's what's going to glow. The candle one, obviously, she's a candle, so it's going to light. So that's going to glow. And it's cool that it's like a white, like a black and white look that will glow. So that might look really cool as a glow. And then of course the Yokai Crown Freddy. He's also like shiny with fire and stuff too. So that makes sense why that's going to glow. So like they obviously, did a really good job. I'm surprised that the Neko Mech Franny's not like metallic because it looks like it should be really shiny, but they just chose to just do more of a normal.
Even the Idol Franny's hilarious too. Like I think
and that's like it's a really cool. It's funny, and it's really fitting into like just like all different characters, and of course like the thing is called it's Funime and cosplay. So of course like this is what people would go to a convention dressed as, like pretty much a lot of these. So it's like it fits that. But like you said, the Ultimate Freddy, the one where he's sitting inside of the Mecha Proto, is really cool. It's different. We've seen something kind of like this, like with the battle whatever ones where you can like put the little pop inside or whatever. Remember
your biddies,
the biddy ones, yeah. But like it's like he's like I also like that his size. He's a little he's not the size of a biddy. It doesn't look like. It looks like he's gonna be a little bit bigger. But obviously, it's not like the full size of a pop. But yeah, I like the details on it. I like just kind of overall, it's definitely a really cool set. I got to see if I'm gonna go after them or not. I do really like that Ronin. I still have money on
the Ronin,
so I might just buy the Ronin honestly because that would be like the one I really really wanted. But yeah, it's been a roller coaster for sure with NFTs. They've had some pretty decent drops recently in the sense of like selling out and doing well. But this is a good series 2. It's not like a pointless series 2 that we're getting. Like, why are they making these again? This is something that they did really well the first time, and I like that they changed them up enough to make it kind of new and fresh. So pretty cool. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I have a feeling it might sell pretty well, but I guess we will see. So on June 3rd,
I think it'll sell out.
Tuesday, definitely make sure you guys are looking out for that. And I think the last thing we're going to go over in today's episode is some VeeFriends. So like Charlie said earlier when we were talking about Rokimoto and how they had the cards, trading cards has really been, that's where I've been spending my money. That's where I've been like putting a lot of my time in the collecting world. It was like sports cards for a little while. Those have kind of here and there. I'll grab some packs, but I've been very heavy in the VeeFriends world.
Yes,
and being on streams and just buying stuff left and right. Still on my way to completing more of my series 2, which last night put a big dent into that on one of the streams. But the reason why I've been a little slow on that is because Topps Chrome came out, with VeeFriends, and ever since Topps Chrome has come out, that's all you've been seeing. So like,
It's
I know,
insane.
Yeah, I know Series 2 has been out for a while, but it's new to me. It's, not necessarily new to you, but you got into it a little bit later than when it really came out. But it still was like relevant. Up until Topps Chrome, it was still like a thing. You could still get packs unopened. You can still buy cards.
Tons of
Like, it was still like a thing.
relevant.
Even though it's been out for so long, it was still around. Now it's like very randomly you'll see someone who happens to have some stuff that they'll put up for sale, or they'll give a giveaway and it happens to be a Series 2, stuff like that. Because now it's all about Topps Chrome. And we were excited for Topps Chrome, of course, because Topps Chrome kind of put two worlds into one, our VeeFriends love and our sports love, because essentially that's where Topps Chrome has done its biggest, damage when it comes to coming out with a bunch of stuff. And now we were so excited for this. Well, I definitely was, because
We
I
were
was
sold
like, this is awesome. I'm going to get so much of this. It's going to be so fun. It's going to be great. I can't wait to rip stuff and break boxes and da-da-da. And as you guys know, we've kind of mentioned in the past, during the pre-order, I didn't get anything. Charlie didn't get anything. Luckily, his wife was able to get some boxes. And then when the drop itself came out, none of us got anything. I didn't get anything. My wife even tried. She didn't get anything. Charlie didn't get anything. His wife again tried. She didn't get anything. So
none of our GameStops had anything.
Then the GameStops was a thing where obviously they only had a couple and they were gone. And none of this is being restocked. That's like the big thing. They're not doing what other Topps, sports, or even Pokemon do, where they're just reprinting stuff. It's kind of just like it's just out there now. But what I do want to bring up, and I know you definitely want to get into this as well, is that when I saw that happening, right, it made me really think like they must have had like a really limited number. Like they never spoke about numbers. Topps kind of controlled all that. And, Gary was really big on talking about how a lot of that he had no control over, but they never really mentioned like how much. They kind of hinted to make it seem like there really wasn't going to be a lot. It was going to be hard to buy. And we went with that because it made sense. And once we saw these things selling out, I was like, one of two things happened. I was like, those definitely bots out there. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of the way it seemed, because a lot of stuff just sold. The blasters, when they dropped, but 15 seconds.
Yeah, I know people with bots who try to use the bots and didn't even get it.
Exactly. It was wild. And then obviously going to shops, it was tough because your GameStops barely had any and they sold them fast. And if you went to an actual shop, like a hobby shop or, comic shop, whatever,
they wanted to sell your son
3 times as much as the price. Yeah. Like you literally had to, cut out your heart, leave it on the table, and then be like, all right, I'll take one of those boxes, please. Like it was insane. And that's where it's still at right now. Hobby boxes, which first we talked about this, first dropped as $99, then we're moved up to $150. Those are going for $300 plus now.
Yeah, $405. It's ridiculous.
For $500, yeah. The blasters are going for $60, $70, $80, and they're supposed to be $25. So it's like, this is insane. But that's what we've been dealing with right now. We're only like a couple weeks in, and that was what was happening. So me and Charlie were like, damn, that's crazy. This probably didn't make a lot. It kind of sucks. Then we got this wonderful app that we have now been more obsessed with, like we were back in the day when Funko was big for us. The Whatnot app, right? Gotta love that. It's a nice, easy way to go buy stuff, go on fun auctions. And I must say, I've met and we've talked to a lot of pretty cool people in the VeeFriends community. VeeFriends themselves, all the people that work for them directly are amazing. Yeah. A lot of these other smaller channels that we just kind of are auctions and stuff.
The community for VeeFriends is the best. It's better than Funko. It's better than anything.
They're so giving. They're so nice. They're so funny. Nice. So cool. Is there some bad apples here and there? Yeah, maybe.
We got them all.
But that's just the name of the game. But now you go on, and every day, it doesn't matter what time of day, it doesn't matter what day, you will see, especially if you follow certain things, they usually put those at the top.
Yeah.
You will see 4 to 5 to 6 at any given time auctions going on with people with VeeFriends. But it's not like the normal people that we see. We see them here and there. We see the VeeFriends channel here and there. It's like sports channels.
It's like the
sports
bros.
Card rip channels. Pokemon channels, like all these channels that are known breaker channels, which of course, if you guys don't know, card breaks, obviously when someone buys a massive amount of boxes and they sell spots or they sell characters or sell teams or whatever it might be, and they clearly make ridiculous money back, but people do it because, you know, you get all the cards for that is blah, blah, blah. That is now what's happening. And Charlie, I have to say, all these boxes that we were freaking out about, like maybe they don't have as many.
That's
No,
what they're
there's
at.
a lot out there. And all of these people have it. And it's crazy.
It's upsetting because I'm very torn about this. I'm still like a massive VeeFriends fan. It's ultimately become my biggest fandom right now, and I do foresee it being that way for a long time. But we were sold on this, and as someone who has been into this a little bit longer, we were sold on this dream that this was the in for everyone, because Series 2 is expensive. There's no denying that. It's been that way, and that is sought after as a premium collectible. Not that Topps Chrome wasn't, but it was supposed to be for the masses.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. Like, Gary sold the dream of this is how your kids are going to get cards. You're going to rip them with them. And I am too, it's just funny because it's one of the characters. It's one of my favorites, Principal Praying Mantis. I'm too principled at this point. I'm not going to go into my local hobby shop and pay $500 for a box when I know the MSRP was $99. Same with the $25 blasters that they're selling between $80 to $120. And they're like, that's always been the thing with VeeFriends. And I think if they want to grow to what their ambitions are, this needs to stop. But I also, you know, I follow Gary long enough now. This could still be his play where he's going to now show how in demand this still is to the masses. Then he'll get Topps to print tons of them, and then it will be more affordable. But like, I kind of wish he didn't sell that dream to everyone in the beginning, because like this is harder. This is the hardest VeeFriends product to get.
Yeah,
it's insane.
It and it's weird because it's like it is, and then at the same time, some of it isn't. Like individually,
Yeah.
no, I want to say something specific because it's like this set is kind of becoming known that like you can get this base set essentially. Pretty much, you can buy it off of somebody. They're selling them for $120, whatever, for the 100 cards. You could build it one at a time here and there, and it's a lot easier than like the Series 2 because there's no
That
like
is correct.
all 100 of the cards have the same amount of cards out there essentially, and you can get them whatever. So like on that aspect, it's like okay, cool. So it's easy to grab and get. But like as like real collectors, and when you buy trading cards or whatever, like you want to buy a box, you want to rip a pack,
Exactly.
like that's fun and like it's exciting, and that's like part of like the collecting trading cards world, right? That is what is non-existent unless you're one of these card breakers. Because like what's crazy is that like yeah, if VeeFriends themselves every week or every few days are up there and they're ripping a box, okay, they're the ones, it's theirs. That makes sense. They want to do that, awesome. But when you see the amount of people that we're seeing, and it's not even just that it's like 100 people all of a sudden have a box. It's like 100 people have
stacks,
30 to 40 boxes each, and it's like, what in the world? Like how? And it's not even like there's so many like things that like irk us. I'm like, yeah, that's one of them, and it makes it worse. But I think what's another thing is that it's like it's people that don't even know about VeeFriends, or they're like maybe now trying to get into it, but they only got into it because they saw this. They see the money grab. They're making money. Like we know that this can pull money. We've known that. We've said that about Gary. He's a massively smart entrepreneur, and he knows how to make money. And in the other ones, we talk about it like they always talk about eBay sales. Like they push that because it's like, hey, flipping to them is a person making money, right? Like that could be a job in itself. And I don't hate that. Like it's whatever. It is what it is. That's just the way the community is. But I agree where you said that like, you know, it was supposed to be like where kids can get into this and we can get more, you know, availability where we're just ripping stuff. And that's what's not happening because it's now becoming way too expensive to get a box essentially, right? And you're losing that fun, and it's not available easily either. It's mostly in the hands of all these other people that are just selling them and they're not even selling the boxes either. They're selling packs, or they're selling a character.
Or just character breaks.
And it's like, that is what's making things even more expensive, because like, you really got to just want one character, pay hundreds of dollars or whatever, and then hope you get something nice, you know, and you're not getting the rest of the cards. So it's sad. It's tough. It's annoying. It's frustrating. If we had a few boxes, would we be saying different things? Maybe, but probably not, because it still would be not where we want it to be. And I agree where maybe it is a tactic, and maybe when Series 2 comes out of Chrome, it is way more available, because Topps just sees that like people are going to buy this regardless, and they make tons of it. But it does suck. I don't want to blame Gary. I don't want to blame like them knowing, because I do agree, and I do believe that a lot of it was out of their hands. The way they positioned it, I do see what you're saying though. But it could have just been like what was positioned to him. And
but don't you think he ultimately made the deal to get all these boxes to the breakers?
That's the part I don't know, because it's like, who these breakers aren't like known VeeFriends people though. Get that would make more sense. Like when Funko gets product to these huge Funko pages, that makes sense to me. But
okay, but I think Gary looked. He's like, the other thing too.
Maybe, but that would be a little. I don't know.
Well, because Gary's into sports cards in general.
Yeah, of course.
He's into cards. He knows. He does his research. His team does it. They were definitely on Whatnot looking at all these huge breakers who, like, they were leading up to this, knowing what was going to happen, seeding, and Chrome's coming. I feel like he got him to get to the hardcore sports card people to want VeeFriends, because one thing I want to bring up that I don't necessarily like, this community is just so nice. They're also at times can be insane, and they don't like whatever. Me and you understand. I've even explained this. Like, that's another thing I love about going to these streams. We kind of all just kind of chat with each other, and I've explained this in some things. Like, am I a card expert? No, but I've been into it now enough that I know a decent amount, and a lot of these people don't. They're only their only avenue for trading cards is VeeFriends, and these breakers are loving that, in my opinion.
They are like we talked about it last episode. The FOMO is like a definition of like these people just like live that. Like, they need to have certain characters, they need to have a certain card, and it's like, but that was because of how awesome and niche and you know, like, small that community was originally when it came out. That now, of course, they want to continue it because it's another set. But these breakers are like, yeah,
let's go.
There's 100 characters. Guess what? You're gonna pay for an individual character,
but like
$100 essentially. You're making $1,000
you'll agree
right off
with
the bat.
me what I'm about to say. A seasoned or even a novice like sports card collector who knows about going into streams, I don't think they would be paying the type of price in some of these breaks that basically all these VeeFriends characters are getting.
Yeah,
there's
probably like hardcore side of people that do that kind of stuff, but as a majority
whole,
like thing, no, yeah, for sure. And it's kind of like what's been happening. And the thing is, like, that's not the only thing. Like, we know people personally or close to, and like in the community, that have been able to get boxes. And that was like, they got lucky enough to buy a couple. They bought some, or they got it on a pre-order or whatever, or they went to stores, or they traveled to stores. And some of these people did pay more. Yeah, because they really wanted it, and they got the boxes, and they got them, and they ripped them, and nothing against any of that. It's just like kind of more, I guess we're like a common folk here trying to just buy them here and there. We have kids. I have my daughter. I give her duplicates and stuff. Like, she loves them. You got your son. Like, we want to be able to go, like, if we were to go to Target, for instance, and you see a pack of Pokemon cards, and you grab a pack and whatever, and you rip them open, and that be something that we can do. But at the same time, like, I don't want to go against a lot of things that we do preach on this channel, which is like the rarity of things and the exclusivity of things, and that being more exciting and not just being super mass produced. Because we do say that all the time. I don't want to sound like we're going against any of that.
Nope.
But I think there is a little bit of a medium ground where, because Pokemon does it perfectly. There is still super rare stuff. There's still, and they print stuff at times. But even if it's hard to get. It's sometimes there's only certain things that are hard to get, but then there's something else that you can always still get, and it's still in the realm of Pokemon or trading card, or whatever. Right?
Well, it's funny. I'm happy you brought up Pokemon because that was something I used as an example the other day when I was chatting in the VeeFriends community stream. When Pokemon Center, they have a drop. It's still extremely limited. It's really hard to get. The bots are going after it. The site's crashing. But you're buying it from Pokemon, you're getting it for MSRP.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one thing that really bothers me about this product. Like, I feel like I should be able to go onto a VeeFriend stream and get this product for MSRP. Do you agree? Like, I don't feel like, and no shade, because I still love VeeFriends. I'm not going to stop not supporting them and buying their stuff, but I feel like that's a safe stream where I should be able to go in, even if they don't sell a lot, that you can get it for what Topps and VeeFriends determined it should be sold for.
Yeah. I do, but I also think it's different because if it was like VeeFriends.com and it was MSRP and they had bot protection or whatever they did, and it was whatever it was, and you got on if you got it, if you didn't, you didn't, whether it was an actual purchase or an auction, or not auction, like a EQL or whatever. Yep. Same thing as Topps. If it's on Topps and you buy it directly or you do EQL, whatever, and that's what it is, I'm okay with that. But I feel like the fact of it being like a stream and a channel and like they're actually the ones doing it, it's hard to say that because what's going to happen is someone's just going to buy it all up anyways. If someone's willing to pay,
yeah, that's true,
$400 for a box, they're going to buy 5 of the boxes at $100 or 100 and whatever dollars, you know? Like,
no, you're not wrong.
And it's going to still probably make it harder, even though I get the point of like it should be better because it's cheaper, but that also kind of brings in, like I said, just people to get more of it for cheaper because that's how they got it online. Yep. Yeah, so it's kind of like it's a tough situation for that. I mean, I don't know if I don't know. It is hard to say because I can't tell them, you know, they're the company. They know they're going to make money. They want to make money however they want, but they do character breaks too, though. So it's not just like a breaker thing. It's not just these other people.
No, because they know that's where the money's at.
Exactly. Like they're going to rip a box. They're going to rip a box and they're going to then sell each one at whatever it goes at. And they still, but this is the only thing, the reason why I feel like not so against that, because they will kind of be like, whoa, because sometimes some prices get crazy and they are almost that. Like a little bit like, this is a little wild, but they can't control they're not going to tell the person no if they're going to put their money out there, you know?
Yep.
So it's kind of, it is one of those vicious cycle things. It's tough. It's just what's interesting is like there's a lot of people out there now that are selling this stuff that really knew nothing about it and they're just doing it strictly for the money, whereas there still are, of course, people that love the community and are charitable because we've gotten into some streams that like there's literally, so I didn't get a box. I just want to show something real quick. I didn't get any boxes. I wasn't able to get a box. I've never been able to get a box. I have more coming, but I have this right now. This is all Chrome. And I have more coming. So this is all Chrome. And I didn't get a single box. But this was strictly from channels and community streams that were selling for $1, $2. Very normal, reasonable prices. Some of these were given away. Some of these are free. One guy that we went on, he was giving 6, 7, 8 for the price of 1 or 2. Just to give them out.
Just lit.
Yeah, that was it. But a ton of different people on that end have been like that and have been willing to give stuff away, and they do tons of giveaways and stuff. And like those people, I will 100% say, you know, they were able to get product. They know that they were lucky because that's kind of one thing too, and they're willing to help people out and give stuff out. So like, at least that exists. Because if it wasn't, it'd be a completely different animal. Yeah, it'd be a completely different animal. It'd be like, you can never get it. So like, yeah, we can get it. Now, are we ever going to get these like crazy numbered cards and like what up? No, we're not, because neither of us are paying the prices that these things are going for, unless somehow we magically win a giveaway or something happens. But we're okay with that because it's just the way it is right now.
Yeah.
I just hope the next set.
Agreed. That's all I hope for.
Or there's a way, or maybe more retailers get it. Something that just makes it a little bit better of a shot.
Agreed. And just to like tie a bow on this conversation, and the reason why it does bother me is like when you just brought up, before your daughter and then my son, like I spoil the kid rotten, but I can't consciously be like, oh, I'm going to go buy you a few packs of cards that, he doesn't treat like he's 5 for $120 box.
Yeah.
No, it's insane. And like, that's where it gets like difficult, where I do get a little upset, because as someone who had been collecting Series 2, that is what they were saying, Migs, before you really got into it. Like, Chrome's coming. The kids are going to get them. The families are going to rip them. It's the same thing. It's the same as Series 2.
Yeah. Yeah, it really has become that. It's a testament to him, though. His company is getting to where he wants it to get, in the sense of like mass, how big it is, the money they're going to make off of it, like what people are willing to do for it. And maybe it's just the beginning. Maybe this will change. Maybe this will get better, or whatever it is. But at least, I will say, at least we have those people in the community. At least we have 100%. Those. And, you guys know who you are. And there are other ones that are not. You can tell they're more on the, they just want to flaunt stuff. And like, I have this, and this is moment amazing, you enter whatever. And you can just tell. But it's, every community is going to have that. Going to have both sides.
Yes.
But I will say is like, there's a mass majority of this community that's on the other end, and that we do appreciate. And yeah, thank you guys for that, because honestly, like I said, I wouldn't have a single one of these cards if it wasn't at least able to go through there. And like, I've gotten more. And like, the funny thing about my daughter, like you were saying too, is like, I usually give her my doubles. Yeah. I'm not buying these like I'm not getting the Series 2 Black Cat. Like I'm getting the normal ones that I can get. And the Chrome is a little easier. I'm not getting these of 25s or of 50s, things like that. So when it's a common one, I don't care about giving her a duplicate. And the only reason why I'm getting duplicates is because I've been in so many different streams at different times, and I forget sometimes what I got, and then I end up buying the same thing again. So when that happens, I'm usually like, hey, look, I got another double for you. And at least she gets that, and then I get my core set, which I'm trying to still build. Pretty close, but on the way. And a lot of the Series 2 set too, I've been able to. Yeah. Luckily, those high tier ones are probably going to be the ones that I may not get, or maybe luckily get once in a while to try to get those to the full set. But
I still need 10 that I'll probably
so like
never.
Yeah, and you've been way more hardcore, so like it's not easy. But yeah, we'll see. I still love it. It's a great set. I think the characters have been amazing. I think what they did with the set was great, but maybe it was too good. Too good.
No, and too good like, to be true. Yeah, it's been awesome. We're just giving you the negative part. I mean, I feel like we've only been glowing about it. It's just kind of like, we really thought we were going to be like ripping. Yeah, we thought we were going to be ripping these packs. And I really, luckily, really like I said, I got some.
Like, I didn't think I was going to get a bunch, but I was like, oh, we'll get something at least.
Yeah. And I thought they would be. I thought they would sell them on streams and stuff like that, not just their breaks and whatnot. But once again, it is what it is, and I do think, though, this will show Topps the end game. That next series, there'll be more. I feel like they will be in Targets, Walmarts, whoever sells Topps product.
Yeah, hopefully. But yeah, we'll see. That's going to be it for the episode. It's a good jam-packed episode. Thank you guys for sticking around. If you're still here at the end of the video, we really appreciate you. And hopefully you did chime in on any of the stuff that we talked about throughout the episode. If you're listening to the episode, thank you for listening. Head over to the YouTube and watch as well, because we will pop up stuff, like we usually do. But yeah, like the video if you haven't already, please, and subscribe to the channel for sure. But Charlie will let you know where to follow us, all the good social stuff, and yeah, until next time.
Yeah, so obviously, if you haven't already, follow us here on YouTube. if you're on the YouTube channel and like this video, hit that notification bell so you know when new videos are come out. Just throw down those comments. Let us know if you went to the Rokimoto event, if you went to Night of Mischief. What do you think? Did you get any VeeFriends cards? And what do you think about the Fundays experience? But also, if you're on Instagram, please follow us at Collector Chatter, and then at Collector_Migs and at Collector_Charlie. And if you're listening on the podcast platforms, if you could please follow us on those, leave us a review. As I always say on Spotify, that's the one platform where you can interact. We throw up a question. You can also write comments on the videos now, which is super cool. But as always, we really just appreciate the support, and we, really exciting. I feel like stuff that's going to keep on coming in Collector Chatter. So with that being said, until the next episode, as always, collecting is the way. Later.
Peace out.